Wow, that Dragon Quest III remake looks fantastic.
Hello, and welcome back to another Sergmanx video. Today's video, I'm going to talk about my history with the Dragon Quest franchise. Let's get into it.
After seeing the Dragon Quest news from earlier last year, it got me thinking a lot about the franchise. The summer of 2020, I finished Dragon Quest XI's Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition. Jeez, that was a mouthful. The game is simply amazing. I loved all the characters, the story, and the classic JRPG goodness of the turn-based combat. I really felt a sense of wonder as I explored the various locations the game had to offer. Dragon Quest XI will definitely be something I will return to in the future. Oh, and the ability to play the game in 16-bit is such a fantastic addition. Ever since then, I started to collect the games with the hopes of eventually diving in and really spending some time with the franchise. That's not to say I didn't have any Dragon Quest games, but Dragon Quest XI was the first game from the main series I completed. With that, I need to talk about the first game I played in the franchise. Dragon Quest Monsters, or as I know it as Dragon Warrior Monsters for the Game Boy Color. A game I never heard of. When I was in the 5th grade, I saw the box art at a local Walmart and thought it looked interesting, so I decided to give the game a shot and bought it with some leftover Christmas money I had saved up. I would go on to play the crap out of it. Even during my college years, I would skip class to play the game. Yup, priorities. To my surprise, the game was very similar to Pokemon Red and Blue, except it felt more like a traditional JRPG. You recruit other monsters, level up, and the ability to keep more than 4 moves. Take that, Pokemon! And to breed your monsters to make stronger monsters. The music is absolutely incredible. I am quite fond of the Kingdom of Great Tree theme and the battle theme. The story is mildly interesting. You play as Terry, a boy on a quest to rescue his sister Millie, who is kidnapped by a monster and is taken to a strange land that is apparently located inside of a dresser drawer. Terry goes after Millie and is taken to meet the King of Great Tree and is given a monster. Yeah, screw Bulbasaur. Charmander who? Squirtle, get lost. We have Slib. The king tells Terry if he can win the Starry Night tournament, he can have any wish granted. Do you know what would have been my wish? For the damn Dragon Quest Monsters remake to get a release outside of Japan. Yo, what gives? Dragon Warrior Monsters is a really fun game, and it still holds up pretty well. I would not revisit the series again until Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 1 and 2. Both games in my opinion were just okay and didn't hold my attention like Dragon Quest Warriors Monsters did. It was around that time I became aware of the main series, but I would finally dive into the franchise with the release of Dragon Quest XI's. Better late than never, I guess. Like I said in the beginning of the video, the game is amazing and definitely worth your time if you are a fan of traditional JRPGs. I would then spend the next year or so tracking down different games in the franchise to play through. Unlike Final Fantasy, where each of the games is a standalone story, some of the Dragon Quest games exist in the same universe. Looking at the picture of the DQ timeline reminds me of the Zelda timeline. Look at that! It's a mess, but you can definitely play these games in any order you desire. I should probably check out the first game to see how Dragon Quest got its start. But which version should I play? Well, if I want to see the origins of the franchise, I will have to go with the original. Okay, let's get into it. Dragon Warrior released in North America on August of 1989. Here we go. The graphics are just what I would expect from an NES game of its time. What the hell? Oh, I can see this getting tedious. I have to open the menu to literally do everything. Even if I want to open doors and go down the stairs. This is annoying. The overworld theme is fantastic, especially since I recognize the song from Dragon Warrior Monsters 1. The battle theme must be incredible. Oh god, this is awful. What happened here? Yeah, I can't play this version. I could maybe tolerate the annoying menus, but not this battle theme, especially since the combat is half the game. Alright, I'll move on to the Switch version, since the music is substantially more enjoyable to listen to, and I don't have to go into the menus to do everything. However, the art style is kinda bland, but the monsters look nice during battle. The king tasks the hero to find and defeat the Dragon Lord, to retrieve the Spear of Light, so that the land of Alfgard can be peaceful once more. Pretty simple premise, but I didn't expect much from a game made in the late 80s when it comes to story. After leaving the castle, you can head into town to speak with the villagers. Some of the villagers will give you vague directions on where to go next. But before you can go anywhere, you need to level up your character and get some gold so you can buy better equipment. Be prepared to do a lot of grinding and save often. Monster encounters can be deadly if you wander off too far. Should you die, you will be revived in the castle with a significant chunk of your gold gone. I recommend storing gold in town just in case. You can also store items as well, which is great because your inventory is extremely limited. Unlike other entries in the franchise, DQ1 is a one-man show, so don't expect to acquire party members. You also won't have to worry about fighting more than one enemy at a time either. Battles are simple here. You can attack, cast defensive magic, and use items to heal battle damage or cure status ailments. As your hero levels up, your stats will increase and learn new spells. Eventually you can use the zoom spell to return to the castle from the overworld or cast evac to teleport outside of dungeons, which is incredibly useful. I think our hero is strong enough to make some actual progress, so as we explore the world, we will come across a cave in the middle of a small desert. Hope you bought some torches, cause this cave sure is dark. I instantly get flashbacks to Pokemon Red and Blue. Later in the game, we can use a technique to light up the cave, so we won't have to worry about wasting inventory space on torches. As we explore the cave, we will eventually come across a tablet left by a hero of the past called Erdrick. The tablet states that when the 3 sacred artifacts are collected, we will be able to reach the island that the Dragon Lord's castle is on. The tablet unfortunately does not tell us where we need to go, so all I can do right now is just visit the various towns and speak with the villagers to get some hints on what to do next. By chance, I found a town that sells magic keys, which allows you to open doors that you couldn't open earlier. Oh look, I can open this giant red door now. What? A dragon? Okay, let's fight it. Good thing I leveled up quite a bit, so I should be able to defeat it. Wait, what? The princess? I like how the king neglected to tell me that his daughter was kidnapped by a dragon. You can actually finish this game without ever saving her apparently. We reunited father and daughter, but we still need to defeat the Dragon Lord. So we set back out into the world, grind out some more levels and gold, equip our hero with the best gear, defeat the monsters that stand in our way to get their relics. So now we can finally head to the castle of the Dragon Lord. Looks like this is the end at last. I'm surprised how short this game is. Even for my first playthrough, I didn't have much trouble. The hardest thing about DQ1 is the lack of direction. Once you level up your character and get better gear, things get a lot easier. Looks like I've arrived at my final destination. Wait, the Dragon Lord wants me to join him?
Young Shrimp, what are you doing here?
Do it! Join him, you fool! Rule the world alongside him! Stop hesitating! Embrace the darkness! Ha 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 ha!
Whatever, man. Anyway.
If you didn't know, Dragon Quest Builder's story is a continuation of the bad ending from DQ1, where the Dragon Lord's deal ended up being a trap leading to the hero's demise. That's a pretty cool idea, and I have to eventually check out the Builder games. The Dragon Lord is not hard if you are prepared, even after his transformation. Before you know it, the Dragon Lord is defeated, and the Ball of Light is in your possession. As you make your way back to the castle, you can already see the positive effects of your victory. All of the monsters have been eradicated, and the poison on the overworld is now gone. The princess is waiting for you, and together you and her set off to create a new kingdom in a faraway land. Wow, what a game. By today's standard, the game is extremely simplistic. However, the core gameplay is still strong. While I wouldn't go back to the NES original, you can't go wrong with the Game Boy Color or Switch version, despite the Switch version's art style being a bit bland. Since completing DQ1, I've moved on to its sequel, and the addition of party members and more enemies on screen added more strategy to the combat. That's my brief history with the Dragon Quest franchise so far. I've picked up a lot of games from the franchise, but I still haven't played most of these yet. I'm definitely going to change that and enjoy what the series has to offer. Now, a lot of the Dragon Quest games have unfortunately skyrocketed in price, so it's hard to get these games at a reasonable cost. I am hopeful Square Enix releases the older games on consoles. Now, before I end the video, here's a couple of guest speakers to talk about their love of the Dragon Quest franchise.
Hey guys, Spoons here. When Serge asked me to talk about the Dragon Quest franchise and my history with it, I kind of asked myself, what am I going to say? Because unlike other people in this video, I'm relatively new to the franchise. Dragon Quest has been a series I've known about for quite some time. I even knew about this game back before it was called Dragon Quest and was called Dragon Warrior, this franchise. So I'm not new to what Dragon Quest is, but I'm new to playing the games. I played a little bit of Dragon Quest VIII back in the day when it launched on the PlayStation 2. As a matter of fact, I picked it up and played it specifically for the demo disc that came with Final Fantasy XII. But it wouldn't be until recently I'd take the full plunge into a Dragon Quest game and beat it in its entirety, and that was Dragon Quest XI. This was the game that got me into the franchise, and honestly, what sparked my interest in this game and made me want to play the Dragon Quest franchise was looking for a game that was going to fulfill the nostalgic itch that such titles as Final Fantasy had left me craving. And boy, did Dragon Quest XI deliver in spades. Not only is it an amazing title with an amazing cast of characters, an amazing world, and an absolutely beautiful, beautiful narrative, it left me fulfilled with that nostalgic itch and gave me a brand new series to dive in and explore. I honestly wish I would have gotten into this franchise much sooner than I did, but better late than never. Now I have a catalog of games from the Dragon Quest series I can go back and explore, and a bunch of new titles coming out that I can look forward to. And I'm just happy I finally decided to take the plunge into the series and experience what Dragon Quest was.
You know, it's hard for me to separate Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. You see, even long before Square and NX did their little fusion dance and kind of merged as companies, there was this very strict dichotomy between the two games. You know, one game did it this way and the other game did it this way. Not to say that there was anything wrong with which method they chose, it's just that there was this very, you know, kind of like wall between them. You know, Final Fantasy would take serious tones and kind of drape them in like dark settings and stuff like that, whereas, you know, Dragon Quest took more of a whimsical approach with their graphics, their color palettes, their music, and everything was a little more lighthearted than Final Fantasy chose to do. And as the franchises kind of grew apart and tried different things, you saw Final Fantasy kind of like, you know, shift more towards the innovative, reinvent the wheel type of deal, where they experimented with battle systems and, you know, went away from what seemed like a more traditional JRPG style, and Dragon Quest was kind of left there just doing the same thing over and over and over again to the point where it became formulaic. And that might sound dull, but I think to the purist, the old school, the traditional RPGers, I think that rings true with them. And I love that side of Dragon Quest. I love how when you buy a Dragon Quest game, you kind of know what you're getting. You're going to get a story that you haven't seen before, but you're also going to get the same formula that you've always known and loved. And I love both franchises, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, but I think Dragon Quest has sort of taken over in most of the old schoolers' hearts where Final Fantasy used to be, because Final Fantasy has chosen to kind of deviate so far from the path. But those reasons combined, I think, is why basically I love the Dragon Quest series so much. You could say not to choose innovation, not to choose to reinvent the wheel, and it kind of makes it sound dull. But I think for a lot of us, That's kind of what we want. We want it to be a certain way. And in terms of whimsical and lightheartedness, you know, you can always create a serious setting that doesn't have to be dark. It doesn't have to be edgy all the time. You know, you can fight little smiling slimes. That's endearing to us. So for those reasons, I think Dragon Quest will always be a series that I hold very dear to myself. I can never really separate the two, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest, even though that they have chosen very, very different paths. But I think in general, you know, most people will look at Dragon Quest as the more palatable franchise for somebody who wants to experience a JRPG.
My first experience with Dragon Quest was just like everybody else's, 8 on PlayStation 2. And the only reason why I bought this game was because it came with the demo of Final Fantasy 12. I did buy 12 when it came out, but arguably Dragon Quest 8 is the better title. And I'm not gonna get into which one really is my favorite, but the first entry in the series that I completed was Dragon Warrior 1 on Game Boy Color. The sprite work, the music, the straightforward combat, everything holds up well in the year 2021. I'd even say it's better than Final Fantasy 1 on Game Boy Advance. While my experience with the series is limited, it's positive.
So when people ask me what my favorite RPG series of all time is, I tell them, sorry Final Fantasy, it's Dragon Quest. It started all with one game, Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 Kobe's Journey. I remember seeing pictures and screenshots of this game and seeing that it was kind of like Pokemon at the time. And since I was into the Pokemon craze back in the late 90s, I had to try this one out. I begged my mother to get me a copy, and she bought me one on eBay. This is the same exact copy that I'm holding till this day. And while the gameplay was kind of different from Pokemon, it was still very similar in a way that I was interested in playing it. But after that, I kind of fell off the series, and it wasn't until 2005 when I picked up Dragon Quest 4 and 5 on the DS that I started getting into Dragon Quest hardcore. And I started picking up nearly every mainline entry that I could since then. And thankfully I was able to get some of these back when the prices were a little reasonable. What I love about Dragon Quest the most is the endearing characters, the amazing character design and artwork by Akira Toriyama, and the beautiful soundtracks by Koichi Sugiyama. All of those combine into one hell of a JRPG series, and Dragon Quest is where it's at for me.
So as you can see, we're all passionate about this franchise, and I'm glad that it's picking up more attention in recent years than in the past. So hopefully this franchise continues to strive, at least in the West, because Japan, you know, they're massive fans. So I'm glad to see people over here are finally sharing their love of the Dragon Quest franchise. But this has been, yet again, another Sergmanx video. Have a good one. Peace.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and comment below your thoughts on today's topic. Please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that bell to be notified when the next Sergmanx video drops. Have a good one.